We're going to begin now a new Sichah. As always mentioned, this is part of the project of Likkutei Sichos. I just want to mention, and if I forget it, please always remind me, all the shurim now, Chassidus and night, all the Yilu Nishvasi, Yilu Leib, Ben Yibat L'chaim Tevim, Yitzchak, should have just got up from Shiva now, should have a, I'm going to say, the typical, you should have an aliyah in the Neshama. But really, we ask that it should be Yidis in the Neshama, Beguf Gashmi in the Kolel Mashiach very soon. All right, this is a Sichah which the Rebbe said, Chayei, if you see Shabbos Kodesh Mevarchim Kislev. You said this Shabbos Mevarchim Kislev.
Page?
It's page 183. Chelik Chof.
Oh, that is well.
Sorry, you're right, my man. Chelik Tezvov. Mighty good. All right. Now, the Rebbe is going to connect this Sichah with Kislev, Chayei. The Chayei is a connection with Kodesh Kislev. Then he's going to get into Chanukah. We're going to speak about the famous Shabbos Kodesh Mevarchim, why the miracle of Chanukah was 8 days. If the first day they had enough oil to last, so really the whole miracle was 7 days. It's a famous Shabbos Kodesh Mevarchim. There's actually, I believe there's a book that has over 100 answers or 500 answers on this question. But the Rebbe has a revolutionary chiddush that until you learn the Rebbe's beer, it's fascinating how the Rebbe comes up with what the miracle was. So let's begin. Aleph. And Parshas Chayei wird erzählt, geleint, bekama shanim. Behind the Giyon Shabbos Mevarchim Kislev. Parshas Chayei, like many years, like that year was, they read, Shabbos Chayei was Shabbos Mevarchim Kislev. Yidua, in the Parshas Shavua, aber Nashayis zu Zman, and welches sie werden geleint. So it's known that all the Parshas of Shavua, whenever it's late, it's read, has a special intrinsic connection to the time that it's read. Verstandig, as in Parsha, as in that Parsha is Murumas and Yoni for Kodesh Kislev. So therefore it's understood, based on the Shalom, that Parshas Chayei has a special connection to Kodesh Kislev. The speciale Teichen von Kodesh, von jedem Kodesh, is welcher tells sich ois von andere Kodesh. What's so special about this month, which is different than all other months, is B'rev HaPamim, verbunden mit die Yom Yechadim, Yom Tevim. What's special about that month? It has Yom Tevim von dem Kodesh. Was sie haben eine Hashpah von ganzen Kodesh. The Yom Tevim have a certain Hashpah on the entire month. Derech mi gefind is befedish negin Kodesh Adar. You find this by Kodesh Adar. Asli the Purim Teg in dem Kodesh, because of the Purim days of that month, is the ganze Kodesh nepach geworden nach Kodesh for Simcha and Yom Tov. The entire month was transferred over from a month to be a month of Simcha and Yom Tov. Now, for them, so what's so special about the month is the Yom Tovim that it has. So the Rebbe is going to first speak about the regular Yom Tov of Chanukah, and then at the end of the Sichah is going to connect it with the Chassidus Yom Tov. But them is verstandig binyanin. From this is understood what we're speaking about, as the Teichel of the Kodesh Kislev is verbunden mit the Yom Tov Chanukah. That Kislev, the theme of the Kislev is Chanukah, was Heib Sichon B'Chafei B'Kislev, which starts on the 25th of Kislev. When man gefindt a remez if in Nes Chanukah in Parshas Chayei. Now you find an allusion, you find a remez of the miracle of Chanukah in Chayei. Where do you find that? The Rebbe says, Chanukah hat man kiveh gemen if in Nes the Pach Hashem. And what's the miracle? Like Rashi says in Shabbos over there. What's the reason why they established the miracle of Chanukah? Is because of the jug of oil. What happened? The Matzah Pach Esna Shoshaman, they found only one jug of oil. And only had enough oil to last for 1 day. And what happened? This Pach Hashem only was able to last for 1 day. And the miracle happened that it lasted for 8 days. That's what the Gemara Shabbos says. You find the same sort of nest by Sarah and Rivka in our Parsha. The pasuk says that that Yitzchak brought Rivka to his tent, or to Sarah's tent, so what does Rashi say? As the nest shop, the Ner Chanukah, the Ner Shabbos, was Yehovah angezündet. Shabbos war der Shabbos. So what does Rashi say over there? He brought Rivka to his tent, And there was a miracle that the lichtelach, the candles of Shabbos, was able to last from Friday to Friday, mamash a week. So you see the same idea that it was only supposed to last for a little bit, right? The way that naturally candles last for a few hours, and Rivka's candles lasted the whole week. Hanukkah was only supposed to last for a little bit and lasted the whole week. So we see a similarity between the two. The Alpha became ubefratas. The Nes Hanukkah had ufgetan atzilib dem Nes. It's lechen nikba geworden ayam to miyuchad. Now, even though, and especially by Hanukkah, was able to accomplish a Nes, and the reason, because of that Nes, we establish, especially Yom Tov, is Muban is understood as in Nes Hanukkah is da chidish, agabe the Nes for Nes sort of a. Even though we're equating it and we're saying it's very similar, but there's still also a certain Nes of Chanukah legabe sort of a rifko.
6-year-old knows me if the same Nes happened by Arap and Meir.
Yeah, but Pashtos, it's a good question. I would think so, yeah. Why not? Probably, yeah. It was. Now, says Adechik zu sagen, as die Meile is nur in dem, was von dem Pach Shemen, die Mechanika, was lehoye bei Ella ala Hadaki Mefad, haben Malati wel Shmeni Yomim, ma shekin ihre Seher Sara, Rivka haben gebracht, bei Finissi Blois, Tagil, 7 Tage. So it's a very big dish to say that by the Nesach Hanukkah, they lasted 8 days. And Sarah and Rivka lasted 7 days. Why? Well, this is not a difference in the actual essence and the quality of the Nes, nor blois and kamas. It's a Nes, and this was 7 days, this was 8 days. Before the Nes had sich gezeugen. This is just how long the miracle lasted. Okay, so now the Rebbe says like this, base. And Nes from Chanukah is mimavar b'chlalos of tzvei efanim. So this miracle of Chanukah, you could explain in general in 2 ways. Aleph, es ist zugekommen b'derech Nes in Kambus HaShemen, bis is given genug Shemen for alle 8 Tag. The first way is to look at the Nes of Chanukah. The quantity of oil increased miraculously until there was enough oil for all 8 days. See ba'ofen as der Pach in jeden Tag nochen unfilled years geblieben mole kivatchila. Either the jug of oil remained full as it was originally. In other words, every day after it was used to fill the lamps, so the Pach refilled. Other valiyedin tag matzu hanedes meleim shemen. Or every day after the lamps had burned, they found the lamps still full. Really, zwei svaris in Beis Yosef, the 2 rationales mentioned in the Beis Yosef. So, how do I look at the Nes of Chanukah? Do I look at the Nes of Chanukah in a quantity of oil? Either a quantity of oil that the actual jug remained after they filled it up every day. It's like it just naturally, or I should say supernaturally, came back. The oil came and filled up the jug again. Or every day after the lamps had burned, they found the lamp still full. So that's one way to look at the Nes of Chanukah. But again, it's a kamas. What's kamas? Quantity of oil. It's supposed to last for 1 day. It lasted for a lot longer. Or base. Or do I look at the Nes as the Nes is given be'echus Hashem? Or do I look at the miracle change, the quality of the oil? What does that mean? The los shemen was apiteva kenis zayin genug oifen bringen blois eintog. The amount of oil that naturally would be enough to burn for 1 day, so hat gebracht 8 Tage gebrannt for 8 days. Das ist, jeden Tag hat ausgebrennt an 8 von dem Shemen shebepach, which means that every day, only 1/8 of the oil in the jug was consumed. So if I say it's a quantity, either that the pach every day is filled it back up the way it was before, or that they found in Neris, laying just full of oil the entire time. So that's in the kamas, in the quantity of the oil. Or I could look at the Nes of Chanukah in not the quantity, but the quality, which means that the way they said that oil was supposed to last for 1 day, let's say, and it lasted for 8 days. So that means that it lasted for 8 days, meaning that each day only 1/8 of the oil was actually consumed. And this is actually brought in the Beis Yosef within Shulchan Aruch.
that for 6 days they clean up a car and sit there and watch it.
Yeah, well, based on the Rebbe's beer, so let's read the Rebbe's beer on this, and all the questions will go away. Now, read the Beis Yosef Zokt. So the Beis Yosef says, "As mahot dem shemesh v'pach zetilt of ach chalakim and jede Nacht hat in der Menere reingegossen nor ein chil." The Rebbe actually schlungs us up because, first of all, you can't. How they didn't know. You and you fill up the oil. You have to fill it up in full. You can't just you have to fill it up. Okay, okay. All right. Now, so like the Beis Yosef says that they divided the oil in the jug into 8 parts, and every night they poured 1 part of the Menera. Now, the Pri Chodesh is Masber. Now, as the Pri Chodesh explains, as man die erste Nacht reingegossen im ganzen Shemen in the Menera, und jede Nacht hat bloß ausgebrennt ein Achtel von dem Shemen. Now, the Pri Chodesh explains, on the first night they poured all the oil into the Menera, and every night only 1/8 of the oil actually burned up. Now, Valpisa, and based on this, Valpisa kommt es the Chayei as the bitter man now. See, Nes Chanukah is in them selben Sug Nes. Nes Haneres, the son of Rifka, is totally in the very fun. So on this basis, seemingly, what comes out that the answer to the issue above, whether the miracle of Chanukah was the same type as the miracle of Sarah and Rivka's lamps, depends on the 2 possibilities above. Late and Sveit and Eif, and according to the second X possibility, Zayin and Beidin Nisim themselves and Sug. So both miracles were at the same type. An Eichastike Oisofa in Koyach Hadlika of Shemen. That means that there was a qualitative increase in the ability of the oil to burn. In beide Fallen hat der Nes gebracht viel langer wie das man was can brennen apitava, which means in both instances the oil burned longer than the time it should have naturally burnt. So basically, if I look at it the second way, that it's a echastik thing, so both of them had it. It's very similar. Now, the chilik zwischen ze is, so what's the difference between the two? Was alle by Chanukah is given aggressor isop in kechadeliko, even achteg. So the difference between them is in the case of the Chanukah miracle, the oil's ability to burn the qualitatively increased in a greater measure 8 days, as discussed above. And by Chanukah is given abasundere nes jeden tog. And also, in the case of the miracle of Chanukah, a separate miracle occurred every single day. Mahat jeden tog gedarf on sitting the Menera. Every day, the Menera had to be lit. Shingin by Sarah Menifka, haben die Neres gebracht 7 Tag nacheinander. Gebrat 7 Tag nacheinander. However, Sarah and Rivka, the lamps burned for 7 days straight. So that's the difference between the two. But again, they're both in a qualitative sense. The difference is one lasted 8 days, one 7 days, and a Chanukah every day they had to light, and by Rivka they didn't have to light every day. Sort of. Now, so Mashenkin like an Ershneifim, but if I learn it like the first way, if I learn like the first possibility, in the Nes Chanukah is the Nes Chanukah von ananda the Sug. So it comes out that the Chanukah miracle was a different type. Says Bashating Varm, but even Nisi didn't see this for Nach Shemen. I mean, on the first way to learn it as a kamistic thing, the Chanukah miracle was Hashem miraculously created more oil. Was thus gefunden by the Nes Sarah Rivka, which we do not find this does not occur in the case of Sarah Rivka's lamps.
As they poured it till it was full, but only an 8 came out.
That's the second way to learn it. But if you learn it like the first way, that it was a kamistic thing, that means that either every day, let's say here's your full jug. They empty the jug, the next morning, boom, it's full. So Hashem had to make more oil. Or let's say even in the actual lamps, it went all the way down, and then boom, you came the next morning and it was back up. So Hashem had to basically create new oil, a miracle. By Sarah Rivka, we don't find that's so there it is. Ober oich late dem never went down. It went down, but then when he came back morning, it went back up. Ober oich late dem oifen is in Mos Hanes with Chanukah nit given kein chiddush. Now, even according to this possibility, the actual miracle of Chanukah was not entirely a chiddush. Why? Well, if them oifen Hanes gefit min sheifrier before shbeterish shebechsav nevim and asked me then osach Hashem by Elisha. It's not such a miracle as is explained in Nevi'im a miracle, the jug of oil performed by Elisha. Right, and the over there, right? Okay, we'll continue tomorrow.
Go ahead.
Let's see.